Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So finally got to film for you guys. Thank you so much for being patient with me. I've been spending way more time at the beach just because there's stuff to actually occupy my kids, whereas when we're at home they kind of just sit around really bored because everything's closed, which really is tough on them. So I told you guys about how I've had a ghost in my daughter's room, and I kind of wanted to share the story with you because it is kind of personal. So if I sound like a little shaky, that's why. Okay, so jumping right into the story, basically, ever since I was younger, I've always felt a little bit spiritual, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. Like, my parents would even buy me books about like ghost and the supernatural and things like that. I've always had like this extra sense, I guess you could say. So I have like a weird childhood a little bit. I was raised by my grandparents. My dad passed away when I was really young, and I was really close to my grandfather. The room that I actually basically grew up in, my dad had spent a lot of time in that bedroom when he lived with my grandparents, and like weird things would always happen, but it was never terrifying to me. I don't know why it still isn't. I had a daughter. Her name is Lily. She passed away when she was 3 years old. She had special needs. I have really complicated pregnancies. Pregnancies have never been easy for me. They've always been high risk and pretty scary. So she passed away with special needs and stuff when she was 3. She did pass away in the hospital, at a children's hospital, not in my home. I just kind of wanted to make that clear. So my third daughter, her name's Sophia, she always had Lily's room as her room. And now, not to mention, we always have pictures of Lily in our house. We always talk about her as if she's still here. It's nothing weird. Like, she's always around and we talk about her, and we don't make it like a sad thing. We always talk about like really happy, positive, uplifting stuff, right? Because that's how I want to remember her, and that's, I always want my daughters to know who she was. Okay. So, moving on, fast forward. My daughter, like over a year, like I said, she's 3, but she's going to be 4 in December. She has always had sleeping issues, but only in her bedroom. She never had sleeping issues at her Nana's house. She never had sleeping issues at the beach. She has no problem sleeping at Nana's house by herself in the dark. No problems at the beach by herself in the dark. Like, no issues with sleeping anywhere else. Just in this room. It's gotten so bad to where she screams like she wants nothing to do with sleeping in her room. We actually been, because we always had the crystal salt lamps, like the night lights to put, like the plug-ins, and that kind of worked for a second, but she just got over that really fast. So then we started letting her sleep with the top lights on, but she would still wake up in the middle of the night screaming. And I'm not talking like a cry when a kid wakes up and goes right back to sleep, because like I said, my other daughter, she would have nightmares and things like that were pretty typical, like for the age, but she would go back to sleep, and it's just such a different cry. And when you're a mom, like, you know, your kids cry like when they're hurt, when they're faking, you know what I mean, when they're like mad or frustrated. Like, it's so different. This is like an actual like terrified cry, and like when it's bedtime, she really wants nothing to do to bed. She will fight tooth and nail to not lay in that bed. But if I say, all right, go to bed in Sissy's room, like one time she slept in her sister's room when her sister was at Nana's house and her sister wasn't home. Sophia had no problem sleeping in her other sister's room with the lights off, didn't wake up at night, was totally fine with it. So then I was like, maybe like something's going on. So now she's getting older, and I can actually like talk to her, and she's definitely like an old soul. She's the most chill kid ever. She's just so calm. She doesn't really freak out much. I mean, she has her moments, she's a kid, but really she's just very easygoing. So it's really strange that she puts up such a fight with this. So now I was able to start talking to her. Every time I would ask her, like, why are you sad? Like, why do you hate your room? What's wrong? What's going on? It's always the same story. There's a boy and a girl, and they have big eyes and a big mouth, and they wake her up in the middle of the night and they scare her, and she hates sleeping in there. And I said, well, are they mean to you? No, they just really scare me. And I said, okay, do they talk to you? no, they just really scare me. They surprise me, she said. And I said, okay, well, tell them, you know, play with me tomorrow when it's daytime. I need to get my sleep so I can have fun tomorrow. I do, Mommy, but they're just so scary. And like when I go in the room and she'll be underneath the cover, like with one eye, Mommy, 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 they're here, they're here. Like that's what she says, which like is so sad to listen to your baby like be scared of the place that she should feel the most comfortable. So backstory, because she always said that it's a boy and a girl. I was super close with my grandfather. I called him my pop, like best friends. We always played pranks on each other. We always had seances growing up, like when we'd have slumber parties, and he would just like come and spook us and scare us, and we would be all like, you know, like little kids do. Well, he would always make jokes with me and be like, I know how you are with ghosts and stuff, like you always had that, like that, he would always tell me, you always had that gift. And he said, so when I pass away, I'm going to come back and haunt you. And he would always say that joking around. Well, when he passed away, not long after, I moved in with my husband now, and we lived in this tiny little apartment, and the craziest things would happen. In each room of the apartment was these thermostats, and every morning my husband would wake up at 3:30 a.m. to go to work. The thermostats were turned all the way up to where it was like 95 degrees. Now mind you, it was summertime, I was pregnant, so I was not touching that heat. I was hot as can be, wasn't happening. And he'd be like, Ange, why are you messing with the thermostats? I'm like, I'm not touching the thermostats. I was like super pregnant, I'm like, do I look like I want to be hot right now? I'm dying of heat. Then the windows would always be open. I would be like, I didn't touch the windows. I want the air conditioning on, and if the heat or if the hot air from outside gets inside, I'm going to die a slow hot death because it's so hot out. You know what I mean? It was like July. I'm like, I'm not touching the windows. And that kind of stopped for a little bit. And then the door was always unlocked all the time. And then finally I was like, Pop, listen, I know you're messing with me, but you gotta at least keep the door locked because I gotta be safe here. I'm not trying to die. You know what I'm saying? Then the door just never happened again. We moved into my new house when we bought our home, and the door would get unlocked and like just funny little stuff like that. As soon as I would talk to him, it would stop. So it makes me assume that it's probably my daughter, Lily, and my grandfather who raised me, my pop, because she did say it was a boy and a girl. And what's really crazy is my daughter Lily, who passed away, looks identical to my daughter Sophia, who's staying in that room. And something else that's a little bit strange too is my daughter Melody, she's my middle daughter, she looks just like my husband. She has his brain, his mannerisms, like she's him to a T. Whereas Sophia is me to a T. If you look at pictures of me as a baby, we look alike, we act alike. She has my personality. She's just me. And Lily literally looks the same. And I don't know if people believe in reincarnation and things like that. But I always said that I felt like Lily sent me Sophia. Because first of all, we almost had to do IVF to have Sophia. It took us over 3 years to try to have her. And what's crazy is Sophia's birthday is December 20th, which is 7 days before the day Lily died, just different years. Because Lily died in 2012 and Sophia was born December of 2016, but it's crazy that she died December 27th and she was born December 20th. So it's just like little things like that that are similar, that makes me feel like maybe there's some sort of connection, or maybe she sent her to me, reincarnation. I'm not sure. I don't think it's reincarnation because I don't know really much about that, to be honest with you. I just think it's all really too coincidental, you know. So that's kind of what's been going on. But I did just get home from the beach tonight. I'm going to let my daughter have a little slumber party in her sister's room. I'm going to get my husband's hunting camera and like set it up in there and see if I could see orbs or see what's going on. I don't want to say to not come back yet, because I want to like catch it on camera, and then kind of go from there and see what's going on. So that's kind of what's been happening, and go easy on me in the comments because it's like a really touchy subject for me, but I wanted to let you guys hear the story because it's like kind of crazy to me. Let me know your thoughts and things like that, and when I catch whatever I catch on footage, I'll definitely let you guys know, update you. I don't think it's anything scary. I don't think it's anything negative, to be honest with you. I just think that they're there letting her know that she's there and that she's safe. I just don't feel like it's anything bad. It's like you walk in her room, it's nothing heavy. I've always went into Lily's room after she passed away, and I would sit in there, and that's where I would feel super safe and happy, and I would feel a lot of love. I never felt anything heavy. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you like it, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.